let's go, 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 let's go.
Live on the Gaming Life YouTube channel, it's the NASCAR YouTube Cup Series.
Tonight, it's the Busch Light Battle at the Beach.
This exhibition event kicks off Speedweeks here at the World Center of Racing, and while every other event here at the World Center of Racing will be on the big oval, tonight we stick strictly to the backstretch, where we'll see 25 drivers duke it out over the next 60 laps of racing, fighting for the very first checkered flag of the season. Denny Hamlin has become one of the most prolific super speedway racers of this era, and while tonight we aren't racing on the high banks of Daytona, his short track prowess is one to keep an eye on as well. I expect that we'll see him move up the leaderboard as the night progresses. Brad Keselowski is a driver of patience, and when you need a driver to maximize a car's performance and put it in the best possible position, he's the guy to do it. He put up an impressive resume on short tracks with Team Penske, and now at co-owned Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, he looks to continue that success. Tonight wouldn't just be a big win for the team, it would be a huge momentum builder heading into the rest of Speedweeks. If there's one driver in this field that you would most certainly want to keep an eye on, it's Kyle Larson. The California driver, spending his free time racing on short tracks all over North America, he proves every time he gets behind the wheel why he is such an incredible talent. He may not be towards the front tonight, but I expect him to be there at the end of lap 60. So there's the three drivers that I want to highlight tonight. Now we're going to shift gears and talk about the three keys to winning tonight's event. Key number one, don't make enemies too early. If you make somebody mad on lap 5, they're going to have 55 more laps to make the rest of your race an absolute nightmare. While I expect aggression is going to be high from flag to flag, you've got to keep that aggression in check. You'll want to save that aggression for later, when the elbows start getting very wide. Key number two for winning tonight's event is the bottom line, the inside line at this racetrack. When you talk about a track that's flat, the quickest way around it would be the shortest way around it. And while the start and every restart will be 2x2, everybody's going to be clamoring for that inside line. It's a lot easier to boot someone up the track from the bottom than try to pass them the hard way around the outside. The third and final key to winning tonight's event is going to be on pit road. With a fuel run of about 30 laps, I expect one pit stop tonight, which means the execution of that pit stop is extremely important. With track position being so important and the inside line being so important at this racetrack, a good stop on pit road and netting 2 or 3 positions is on 2 or 3 positions you may not gain on the racetrack. The pit crew tonight aren't going to get a lot of pit stops, but the one they are going to get may win them the race. So we've talked about some drivers, we've talked about the keys to winning tonight's event. Now let's just take a look at the track itself with a little hot lap. On paper and on this onboard, it looks pretty simple. 2 braking zones with 2 gear changes. But every time you slam on the brakes and every time you shift a gear, that's a possible mistake you can make and a possibility for another driver to capitalize on that mistake. Also, when you throw 24 of the race cars out there, it's going to get very crowded and elbows are going to get very wide. But I think that's enough hype, that's enough pre-race, that's enough talk. Let's head trackside for the command.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, the Busch Guy.
Daytona! Are you ready? Drivers, start your engines!
The command has been given. Let's crack them up.
Ross Chastain and Christopher Bell make up row number 1, while Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson make up row number 2. Former Daytona 500 winner Ricky Stenhouse Jr. occupies the 5th spot, with Chris Buescher to his right side. Row 4 is where you'll find the Bass Pro Shops Toyota Martin Truex Jr. and the Mahindra Tractors Ford of Chase Briscoe. Row 5, the final 2 spots of the top 10 are occupied by Joey Logano and Bubba Wallace. Brad Keselowski and William Byron make up row number 6, while Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin make up row number 7. In row 8, we've got a couple of California drivers, Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson. In row number 9, it's a couple of Chevrolet Camaros, Daniel Suarez and Kyle Busch. In row number 10, it's the rookie Shane Van Gisbergen, and to his right side, another road course ringer with Michael McDowell. In row 11, it's the Ally Chevrolet for Alex Bowman and the Ford Mustang of Austin Cindric. In row 12, we'll find the number 60 of David Reagan and the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. And at the back of the grid, starting in 25th, it's Austin Dillon. Just a quick look at the stages before we drop the green flag today. Lap 12 is the end of stage 1, and lap 31 is the end of stage 2. And then it's a run to the checkered flag at lap 60. Field 2x2 off of turn number 4. Chastain and Bell, the front row, they're looking to the starter stand. They're looking for the green flag. We're waiting, we've got it, we're green on the backstretch at Daytona. Nice start by Ross Chastain, got a bit of an advantage off of turn number 2. Under braking though, Christopher Bell lines him right back up, and oh man, Chase Elliott is right there as well. Really close quarters racing there off of turn number 4. Chase Elliott looks to the inside, but he's going to get back in line. Jimmy Johnson, Stenhouse, and Truex having a nice battle just inside the top 5 as well. And right now it almost looks like Chase Elliott is pushing Chastain down the backstretch. Bell is not going away, and there's almost contact right there between Chastain and Elliott. But they're going to keep it pointing in the right direction. We're still pointing in the right direction. Into turn 1. Still side by side for the lead into turn 3. And they're still side by side further back. Truex to the inside of Stenhouse. Chase Elliott in 3rd right now. I feel like he's sitting in the catbird seat if these two make a mistake. But so are Truex and Stenhouse. They are in a nice spot as well. They got a front row seat to this battle for the lead. And into turn number 3, Christopher Bell slams the door. He has got the lead himself. Top 4 single file. It's Bell, Chastain, Elliott, and Truex. Stenhouse trying to maintain the 5th spot. But Logano to the inside is not going to let that happen. Side by side all throughout the rest of the field. Let's take a quick look here at some other battles going on. Kyle Larson on the way outside. Almost got into the wall there. He's with Kyle Busch, and that's Austin Dillon down there on the bottom. Man, he has not moved forward. In fact, I think he's moved backwards since the drop of the green flag. Three wide. Further up, it's Ryan Blaney to the inside of Tyler Reddick, and that's Kozlowski almost getting into the wall off of turn number 4. This is just outside of the top 10, and they're about to catch Jimmy Johnson and Stenhouse as well. They're on their way backwards. I mean, you can see right here, Blaney has got the inside, and look at that. He's just going to wrap the bottom of the racetrack. Gets inside of Jimmy Johnson and Stenhouse, and he's about to leapfrog himself all the way up into about the 7th spot. Jimmy Johnson, though, he sees the pressure behind from Blaney. He gets to the inside of Briscoe, and he's going to try and move forward as well on the inside line. Further up, a battle for third. Truex to the inside of Chase Elliott. I mean, he may have given him the bumper. Chase Elliott way up the racetrack. Going to try and get a better exit here, but Truex has got the inside line into turn number 3. This is going to be a hard spot to keep. Coming to 3 laps to go in stage number 1. Buescher a little wide there. He's going to hang on to the 6th spot. As again Chase Elliott goes wide. That's going to easily allow Truex the 3rd spot. And now Logano is going to look for the 4th spot from him. Oh, maybe a little retaliation there. Truex up the racetrack. Chase Elliott back to the inside. 2 laps to go on the stage. Christopher Bell's got it by half a second. The battle everybody's keeping an eye on right now is Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. Chase Elliott takes the spot back. Logano may try to capitalize on this as well and maybe try to squeak himself further up the top 5. Off turn 4, white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go in stage number 1. And now it looks like Chastain may be in trouble as Chase Elliott's charging to his back bumper. Down the backstretch, Logano puts Truex wide. Logano's going to try and get the 4th spot away from him, as Chase Elliott's going to try and get the 2nd spot away from Chastain. But off to number 4, nobody's going to be able to catch Christopher Bell. He wins stage 1 here on the backstretch at Daytona. Christopher Bell wins stage 1. Chastain is 2nd. Elliott is 3rd. Truex 4th. And Joey Logano finished the top 5. The rest of the top 10, Buescher, Johnson, Briscoe, Blaney, and Daniel Suarez. Well, I'll tell you what, Christopher Bell did not have it easy. He started on 2nd, had to do it the hard way, had to pass Chastain around the outside, but that's exactly what he did. Looking to see if pit road is going to open up and if we're going to have any takers on pit road this early in the race. I don't think so. I think the strategy here is going to be to try and stay all the way to stage 2. Make your stop, kind of split this race in half, and you're good to go for the next 30 laps to the checkered flag. Doesn't look like we're going to have any takers on pit road, so we're going to step away, take a quick break. We're going to go side by side. You won't miss anything. And we'll be back for the green flag for stage number 2.
Here in Daytona, the regular season finale, 2 spots remain in the playoff grid.
Here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, every time we have the racing here, it is intense.
Once again, they'll be racing here in May in Indianapolis at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
We're into our race broadcast. 61 cars have rolled out of the pit lane.
We're here at Silverstone for the 10th race of the F1 season. It's the British Grand Prix.
In a world where digital games are becoming the norm, it seems like a game can be wiped out of existence overnight. But digging these games back up is what I do. Sometimes the challenge isn't in the game. Sometimes the challenge is finding the game itself. This is Delisted. Lights are off on the pace car. I think we're coming to the green this time by... Your top 5 and your top 10 remain the same from stage 1. Christopher Bell now on the inside of row number 1. Chastain, Elliott, Truex, Logano the top 5. Buescher, Johnson, Briscoe, Blaney, and Suarez, they're the top 10. It'll be 14 laps to the end of stage number 2. Into the restart zone, they're looking for the green flag. We've got it, and we're green. What a restart by Chastain on the outside line. He leads into turn 1. They're about even off of turn number 2. And it's a full-blown hornet's nest back there. 3 wide further back in the pack. Into turn 3. Inside line with the advantage. Christopher Bell surging forward. But Chastain's going to rally back on the outside. Chase Elliott, Truex have got their differences sorted out for 3rd and 4th. For 5th, though, it's the Penske teammates. Blaney pushing Logano up the track as... Oh, that's David Reagan going around. David Reagan spins off of turn number 2. Looking at the starter stand, we are still green. No caution yet. The 60 has got back going, and we may encounter him as a slow car unless he comes to pit road. We'll look at the replay here in just a second. As Bella's got the lead, Chase Elliott has moved to the 2nd spot. Chastain has been knocked back to 3rd. Let's take a quick look and see what happened to David Reagan. Just got a little bit loose there. Man, he just got pushed around there. I mean, he's trying to hold that inside line. Couldn't really quite do it. And man, around he goes. Good call by NASCAR though. Good call not throwing the yellow just immediately. No debris. Single car spin. He got back going. That was a good call. So we got another crash. Oh, and we got a big crash. I think that's Logano. Logano has got a ton of damage to the front of his car. So is Bubba Wallace. And this one is going to bring out the caution. And we got a couple of cars really torn up as they got together off of turn number 4. Wow, let's take a look at the replay and see what happened here. Oh, it's contact with McDowell. Oh, and then Bubba spins. I think that was Van Gisbergen that got into the back of Bubba as he was checking up, trying to miss the whole thing. Take a look at this again from a different angle. Oh, it wasn't Van Gisbergen. That was Tyler Reddick. His teammate got into his quarter panel there. and spun him around. Another look here at the Logano impact. Man, that's a big hit. Right at the tire barriers. That's going to take a minute to clean up. A lot of damage to that 22 car. He is going to be out of the race. I suspect Bubba is out of the race as well. And Van Gisbergen and Reddick also involved in some capacity in that wreck as well. Pit road is open, and this time the leaders are coming down pit road. Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, and Truex, the front three onto the pit lane. Nobody inside the top 10 is going to stay out here, so everybody's coming in. Everybody's going to try and be on the same strategy here. Going to put a lot of focus now on the exit of pit road. Who wins this race off of pit road? It's going to be 4 tire stops across the board. Pack these cars full of fuel. Right now, Christopher Bell and Chase Elliott absolutely dead even, identical stops. Chastain with a little bit of a slow stop there. Truex gets by him. Blaney looking to almost get by him there on exit. So the top 5 off pit road is Bell, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, and Ryan Blaney. Alright, it's going to take a little bit to clean this mess up and get the field sorted out for another restart. So let's step away and we'll be right back for the restart.
An iconic venue where stars rise and competition's flame burns bright, where past greatness collides with horsepower. NASCAR's biggest names, America's greatest stadium, an event made for Los Angeles, and a coliseum built for legends.
An expanded grid, new faces in new places, but for the 20th time, the familiar streets of St. Petersburg, Florida. Welcome, everyone, to the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg.
The drivers at the front of the field, Mark, we know that there's 2 grooves here. They can run side by side, but when is it too early to push? Got 250 laps to figure it out. We're set to go racing here at Texas.
I'm right between Shoreline Drive and the beach. Mark, not a better place I'd rather be on this Sunday afternoon than here on the streets of Long Beach.
Pace cars back off. Field's 2x2. Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott the front row. It's going to be a 4-lap dash to the end of stage 2. Green flag is in the air. Here we go. Back into turn 1. Side by side for the lead and 3 wide behind him. Huge dive bomb by Blaney. He's looking for the 3rd spot. Hard on the brakes again, into turn 3. Bell on the inside, leaning on Chase Elliott, trying to get him to lift. They stay door to door. They're still 3 wide behind this. Blaney on the inside, Truex in the middle, Chastain way on the outside. You don't want to be out there. That's basically no man's land. Off turn 2, still side by side for the lead. I'd give the advantage to Blaney as they head into the turn number 3. Battle for third nearly sorted out. Blaney almost clear of Truex. 2 laps to go in stage number 2. These guys are racing really, really hard. They want that track position when we freeze the field at the end of this stage. Truex on the outside of Blaney. Further back, it's 3 wide. Chris Buescher way to the bottom. Suarez in the middle. Chastain on the outside still. He is dropping like a rock. White flag. 1 lap to go in stage number 2. Throw a blanket over the top 4. Throw a blanket over the top 7 or 8 cars. Up front, they're still side by side. Nobody giving an inch. Hard on the brakes. Cranks the wheel to the left. Blaney looking in third, but it's going to be settled between these top 2. Side by side, all the way to the checkered flag. Oh, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott gets to the line first. Bell is second. Blaney is third. Truex fourth. And Buescher gets 5th. The rest of the top 10, Suarez, Chastain, Keselowski, Johnson, and Hamlin. How about that drag race? All the way to the green and white checkered flag. We gotta look at this again. You see it at turn 3, Chase Elliott gets the advantage under braking. Bell fights back, then it's side by side. And it's just, oh man, Chase Elliott gets the stage. What a finish. Chase Elliott wins the stage, and now he is the control car for when we get going in stage number 3. How important is that? Stages are done, folks. The next checkered flag we're going to see is the black and white one. And that's going to be the end of this race. Don't go anywhere. The final stage is up next.
The great American race is approaching, but the first order of business, the best in the sport, have to duel it out. Drivers battling for prime spots in the highly anticipated Daytona 500. And for some, the stakes are higher. It's the final chance to qualify for NASCAR's crown jewel event. Hungry for the chance to etch their names into the record books and join the greats that emerge victorious. The duel at Daytona.
In a world where digital games are becoming the norm, it seems like a game can be wiped out of existence overnight. But digging these games back up is what I do. Sometimes the challenge isn't in the game. Sometimes the challenge is finding the game itself. This is Delisted. Boss cars. They're something of a staple in the CSR Racing series. I'm going to talk about a very interesting set of boss cars. Boss cars that cannot be obtained or unlocked by any event or action in the game. This is the strange case of the Altai boss cars in CSR 2.
Every Monday on the Gaming Life YouTube channel, we'll pit 2 video games against each other to see which is better. But here's the twist. The choice is yours. Cast your vote for which game you think is better on the polls right here on YouTube or even on Twitter. Voice your opinion on social media using the hashtag Battle of the Week. It's Battle of the Week every Monday only on the Gaming Life YouTube channel.
Lights are off on the pace car. We are going green this time by, it will be 24 laps to go. That will be the longest run we have seen. But that's, of course, if we could stay green. Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, the front row. A little bit of a sweep swap here. Chase Elliott has got the inside line. Bell is back on the outside. Into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Here we go. Back racing at Daytona. Clean getaway here by the front 5 or so cars. Off of turn 4, leaning on each other. Blaney was looking to the inside. He's still looking to the inside as they come down the stretch. But Blaney's going to get back in line in third as we got a caution and we got a car on the wall. It is Stenhouse. Stenhouse is spun. Bubba is involved maybe as well again. Hard to tell, that car already had damage on it. But now Stenhouse has shortened up the back of his car. This happened at the very, very back of the field. Oh, it's Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon gets into the 47. Spins him around, and he backs it into the tire barrier. And he may have left some debris behind, so the caution comes out almost immediately. We got one lap. We got one lap in there. And that was all she wrote. So we're going to go back out of the caution flag. And we're going to try this again. Not much really changed. In the top 5, it's still Elliott, Bell, Blaney, Truex, and Buescher. I think one driver that's struggled for sure since the drop of this green flag has been the pole sitter, Ross Chastain. He's back to 7th. I think he stopped the bleeding. But man, lost so much at the end of that second stage, getting stuck on the outside of the racetrack. Didn't make any of those positions up on pit road. And now, now he's just back there in 7th, and he's going to really have to fight his way back up through the field. Looking at the full field rundown, only 2 cars are out of this race. McDowell is the 25th place car, and Logano is in 24th. Bubba Wallace still on the racetrack and still on the lead lap. So we got 23 cars still on the racetrack and on the lead lap. Haven't had a green flag run long enough to really put anyone a lap down, other of course than the people that have been crashing. I think with the amount of cautions and caution laps we've had, I think you can really kind of throw strategy out the window. I don't really see anybody needing to make another stop. That could happen, of course. Could see somebody still come down pit road, come down, get some fresh tires. There we go. Lights are off on the pace car. 19 laps to go now, so we go green. It will be 18 laps to go in the race. Let's do things a little differently on this restart. Side by side, Chase Elliott and Blaney. Let's crank it up for this restart. Blaney goes around. Blaney gets tagged. He went around right in front of the field. Oh my goodness, and we're back under the caution flag. Man, oh man. That could have been so much worse. He got turned. He was running, I think, 4th or 5th when that happened. taking a look at the replay here. Oh, they were 4 wide almost. Off of the corner, it was Busch that got into him. Johnson maybe with some damage. And maybe a couple other cars with damage just from the stack up. But really, everybody got woed up pretty quickly and didn't have too big of a incident there. That could have been so much worse. It looked like such a strong race for Blaney. He had been able to carve his way up through the field. Was definitely in a good position on that restart, but man, again, everybody's fighting for the same piece of real estate. Everybody wants the bottom of the racetrack, so when you're on the outside, you're racing so much more aggressively because you're fighting for that bottom of the racetrack. And those guys on the bottom, they aren't going to give it to you. They're just going to lean over and hand you the spot. Again, pit road is open, but nobody is biting at this point of the race. I just don't see anybody coming down pit road unless you're further back in the field and you have nothing to lose. You're not going to lose that many positions. You may as well come down and put some fresh tires on it. That hasn't happened yet, but that's who I would suspect to see coming down pit road if that were the case. That spin does jumble up the top 10 just a bit. The top 4 or 5 I'd say remain the same. So this does jumble up the leaderboard just a little bit as the lights go out on the pace car. Bell, Elliott, Suarez now in 3rd, Truex, and Chastain back up inside the top 5. Keselowski 6th, Briscoe is 7th, Buescher 8th, Byron 9th, and Jimmy Johnson completes the top 10. So Blaney with that spin, he doesn't pit. He does maintain some track position. He is in 12th. So he does not go all the way to the rear of the field, but I mean that's pretty much night over. That's pretty much night done. Damage on that race car, that's going to do it. Field is 2x2 off of turn number 4 once again. It's going to be 12 laps to go this time by. A bit more of a dash and a sprint this time. Green flag is in the air. Here we go, and Bell does not get away well. Chase Elliott to the lead into turn 1. Suarez was all over the back bumper of Bell, really peppering that back bumper, trying to get him to move, and so far it's worked. Back to the inside, nosing ahead. Man, look at that power to the lead, Christopher Bell. And now turns into a side-by-side fight for the second spot now with Truex, Suarez, and Elliott. Elliott is fighting on the brakes, trying to pull alongside Bell, but it's just not going to work. Bell to the lead. He has sole possession of it. Now Suarez, I think, is in a great spot. 10 laps to go. This time by, it's hard to look away from the battles at the back of this field because they are going at it. But up front, Suarez to the inside of Bell. Got to his back bumper, moved him up the racetrack. Oh, but under braking, Bell once again. Maybe has it clear. No! Suarez to the inside, dead even off of turn 4. And look just behind them, Chastain. He's not just entered the top 5, he's back up to 3rd. The Trackhouse cars are on the march with just 9 laps to go. Big wiggle there for Chase Elliott. He washes up the racetrack. He's going to be outside the top 5 as now you've got Bell fighting for his life. They're leaning on each other. Suarez has a nose out front as Keselowski bounces the wall. 3 wide behind this. Briscoe to the inside of Truex and Chase Elliott. But we can't look away from this battle for the lead. Daniel Suarez on the brakes with the inside line. Bell pedaling. Can't do it. Suarez clear the lead with 7 laps to go. Chastain now in the catbird seat as the bumper gets put to Suarez. Chase Elliott and Truex are leaning on each other back there. And Suarez now, he's going to have to run away and hide because now Bell has got the inside line and that's not what you want to see. Oh, he's looking, he might be there. 6 laps to go this time by. The battle outside the top 5 is ferocious, but we've got to keep an eye on this battle for the lead. What can Chastain do now? Chastain is in the 3rd spot. Can he capitalize and boot Bell out of the way? Side by side for the 4th spot, Briscoe making a charge in the Stewart-Haas number 14. These Stewart-Haas cars seem to show up on the short tracks, and he is peaking at the right time. Oh, Chastain goes wide. 3 wide for the 3rd spot now. Oh, again, Chastain got wide there, but back into turn 3, he gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, but Briscoe's right there. Briscoe may move him as we come to 4 laps to go. Bell beginning to lose touch with the back bumper of Suarez. I think all these drivers are starting to fight for 3rd on back, and that is allowing these top 2 to kind of scoot away and settle this battle amongst themselves. Truex again to the inside of Briscoe, looking to make the pass for 4th. 3 laps to go. Suarez has got it. Can Bell do anything with him? Hamlin way on the inside there. Oh, that might have been Kyle Busch, who got way off. He saves it. That was nearly a big wreck there for Kyle Busch as they come back to the stripe. 2 laps to go. The last thing Suarez wants to see right now is a caution. The battling is absolutely insane back there outside the top 10, but right now Suarez just wants to see one thing and one thing only, and that's the white flag, and he's going to get it. White flag, 1 lap to go here at Daytona. On the brakes. No mistakes here from Suarez. He can't make a slip up. Bell is desperately hoping for a slip up. 1 last chance into turn number 3. Can he use the bumper? Bell closing. He's almost there, but off turn 4. Daniel Suarez wins at Daytona. Daniel Suarez wins the Busch Light battle at the backstretch. A hard-fought battle with Christopher Bell in a car that looked oh so dominant in the first half of this race. Winds up 2nd as both of the Trackhouse cars wind up in the top 3. Wow. A flurry of yellows and restarts really hindered Bell at the end of that race. Really just put him in a bad position. But it really came down to Suarez just making that move down the inside on the bottom of the racetrack. He rooted Bell out of the way, got to the lead, and never looked back. Let's take a look at the full field rundown. Let's see who all finished where. Daniel Suarez, the race winner. Christopher Bell was 2nd. Ross Chastain was 3rd. Truex 4th. And Chase Briscoe rounded out the top 5. Byron, Hamlin, Keselowski, Chase Elliott, and Jimmy Johnson were the rest of the top 10. In 11th was Chris Buescher. 12th was Kyle Busch. 13th was John Hunter Nemechek. 14th, Ryan Blaney. 15th to Alex Bowman. 16th to Tyler Reddick, and 17th was Kyle Larson. 18th, Austin Cindric. 19th, David Ragan after his spin early on. Austin Dillon was 20th. Stenhouse after his spin was 21st. Bubba Wallace after his incident was 22nd. Shane Van Gisbergen wound up 23rd after getting caught up in the bumper cars going on in the back of the pack. And then out of the race, 2 cars, Joey Logano and Michael McDowell in 25th. Let's take a look at the moment of the race, because this is undoubtedly right here with Suarez. 10 laps to go in the race. He's sitting in third. He's in a great position. We're looking at Chase Elliott and Bell thinking these are going to be the two guys that are going to fight for the win. But look at this move to the inside. 9 laps to go. Look at this. To the inside. Bell can't close the door. Once he got alongside, there was no looking back. A hard-fought battle here for a couple of laps. Almost for a second there looked as though Bell had it cleared. But into turn 3, you just see him pull alongside. Nearly body slam him off of turn 4. And really, Bell was at the disadvantage from that point on. He couldn't back up to try and get behind Suarez because Suarez's teammate was back there, Chastain. So he takes it up, he makes it out. He does it the hard way. I mean, that's just incredible. And here you see it off of turn 4, clear to the lead. And the 99 never looked back. Daniel Suarez, the winner on the backstretch at Daytona. Heck of a battle, heck of a race from start to finish. But don't go anywhere. Speedweeks continues. Up next, it's the dual races. We decide the starting lineup for the Great American Race. And that'll be right here on the Gaming Life YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do not miss when the next video drops. It's the NASCAR YouTube Cup Series, and it's right here on the Gaming Life YouTube channel. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with me tonight. We'll see you next time. Good night from Daytona.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.